What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we had a game against the Cleveland Cavaliers in which the Chicago Bulls did in the end fall. Look, firstly, I got a new microphone and I don't think it sounds that great. So this might be the first and last time, at least on the Bulls channel, you will probably hear this microphone. I am thinking of returning it, but either way, it is what it is. Not really interested in talking about that. I want to talk about this game against Cleveland because I've heard from everywhere that this is a tactical loss for the Chicago Bulls. This is a loss where the Bulls tried to lose on purpose. They rested players on purpose. And look, I cannot tell you if the Bulls did that or not. I cannot honestly tell you with a straight face if the Bulls tanked, if the Bulls lost on purpose, if it was tactical, if it was for valid reasons. I'll get into it, but if we did decide to tactically lose this game on purpose, I have a problem with that. And I'm going to discuss it in this video. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, their game today, and your player of the game, as we did lose this one 135 to 113. And I'm not going to really, I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily watch the entirety of this game. I was checking in on my lunch break. I saw we were losing by 20 plus points, and I said, you know what? I'll probably have to watch it later. I'm definitely not going to watch the Bulls get battered while I'm at work. It's already sad enough that I'm there. Watch on my lunch break looking at the Bulls. Like, that's sad, to be honest. I'd rather enjoy the rest of my day, enjoy my work, and not think about the Chicago Bulls until I get home. So that was my thought process, right? All that being said, though, I don't really want to talk about what happened in the game because losing to Cleveland, even if their players were fully healthy, in that manner is kind of an expected result. I don't think we would get smacked up by them every single game like that in the playoffs. If we were to face them in the playoffs, I think with healthy guys and a competitive environment, I think the Bulls could give them close games. But yeah, I expect when players are out, or if it's a tactical loss, if the Bulls weren't giving it their all or resting guys and all this sort of nonsense, I understand why the Bulls lost in the way that they lost. That being said, though, with all due respect, I have a bit of an issue with it. But I'm going to talk about why I can somewhat understand the Bulls resting guys. I have two reasons in mind. The first reason is we have a back-to-back and our next game is against the Miami Heat. Miami is a dynamic threat to our position in the play-in tournament. I know we've secured our spot, but, you know, they're a direct rival in that regard. And there's a good chance we'll be facing the Miami Heat. So maybe getting one up on them again is exactly what the Bulls want to do. Miami seem to be trying a lot more these days than they were back when we last faced them, per se. So that could be an interesting matchup for the Chicago Bulls. The second thing I can think of, and this to me is, I guess, kind of, I don't really know how to explain it, I guess. I think the second reason we could have tactically lost against the Cleveland Cavaliers is just so, let's just say we do get them in the playoffs, right? Maybe they will they'll underestimate us. And that's where the Bulls maybe will be able to strike in that regard. Or simply put, maybe it is just because it's a back-to-back. And because of that back-to-back, players are resting so we don't get injuries. I mean, we are very, very close to the play-in tournament. The last thing you want is a Kobe White, for example, to play 40 minutes in both of these games and get injured because it's a back-to-back. We are so close. We've secured our spot in the play-in tournament, so we can't exactly lose that position. Why risk it? So again, I understand that there are certain areas in which I get a tactical loss. I get resting players. And heck, if we had won the game with rested players, we'd be throwing parties until the play-in tournament. That's how good of a victory that would have been against Cleveland if we had done that. But we didn't really come close. But my issue is, we are the 9th seed. Why are we tactically losing games if we're the 9th seed? I mean, don't you want to climb up? Wouldn't you believe, okay, if you're that confident that your team is good enough to compete with the best, would you not want to play Cleveland at full health? And would you not want to be full health yourself to face the Cleveland Cavaliers and give them a run for their money, make them fear us as a team, make them not want to play us in the playoffs? I bet you Cleveland fans are coming off of that game thinking, I hope we get the Bulls in the playoffs. We can clearly beat them. We've beaten them every game this season. You think that's what the reputation the Bulls need at the moment? Is that? No, absolutely not. The Bulls need, I guess, an element, they need to implement an element of fear to Cleveland, and that was definitely not achieved in this game. And we have a chance to climb up the table. We have the chance to get to the 8th seed and give ourselves that double chance to make the playoffs. I mean, why isn't that being spoken about? We had a chance to do that. I'm not saying we don't have a chance anymore. I don't know the mathematical possibilities now, but that game against Cleveland could have been a golden ticket for us to climb the rankings, and we've wasted that opportunity. So, yeah, I'm not happy in regards to this game. I'm not happy with the tactical reasonings. I'm not happy with all of it. Again, we'll never know. We'll never truly know if the Bulls tactically rest the players in order to lose this game. I guess we'll figure out a little bit more when we see the lineup against Miami. That would be an interesting one if all these guys that were rested came back and whatnot. Fair enough. But yeah, I don't like the term tactical loss. We're not in a position to be giving out tactical losses. And look, if we were the first seed or something and we wanted to rest players and we locked in that first seed and we're ready to go for the NBA playoffs and you want to rest guys, that's a completely different story. We're talking about a loss from the 9th seed. I'd rather lose full health than lose semi-healthy and then call it a tactical loss. This is, to me, it's an excuse. It's an excuse to call this game a tactical loss. I know that maybe we rest the players that probably could have played today. Maybe investigations will be done and we get fined. I don't know. But the harsh reality is I see a tactical loss as a cop-out. And when we're this close to the play-in tournament and there's a chance that we face Cleveland in the playoffs, I wanted to give them a run for their money. So whether it's tactical or not, it was not achieved, and therefore I consider this game a disappointment. We move on to the next one, though. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. I'm not going to throw tantrums. I'm not going to throw my phone across the room. I'm not going to say that this Bulls team is heartless or anything like that, because, you know, there are times where that's called for. Today's not that day. Miami is a big game tomorrow. We've got to draw attention to that. I would consider this game very similar to the OKC Thunder game. Just forget it. Forget it and go on, face Miami, beat Miami, and continue to show the NBA that we can be a force to be reckoned with. Maybe not this season, but for future seasons to come. That has to be the goal. Let me know what you think. Again, probably the first or last time with this microphone, unless you guys actually enjoyed the audio, because I didn't. But I'm sick and tired of recording through my phone, and I'm sick and tired of it all, man. This has been a brutal week. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.